Hey everybody, I'm Katie, and welcome to Head of the Class. I am joined today by Freedom Project Academy's Mrs. Kim Brown. Mrs. Brown has been teaching English to our junior high school students since 2014. Mrs. Brown, you have chosen to make a career out of teaching junior high students. What is it about teaching English that drew you into making it your career?
Well, I think the career chose me. I actually didn't start out in teaching English. I was homeschooling my children, and our co-op needed an English teacher. Did that for 4 years, and then I was hired by a private academy for teaching English, and I've been doing it ever since. That was 15 years ago. So I actually started out as a social worker, which certainly qualifies me for teaching middle school students.
And you do teach our youngest teenagers, and you help them advance their writing skills. How do you teach grammar, writing, and literature in an online environment?
Okay, what I love about the way we teach, it's the classical approach. So everything is inspired by the literature that we read. And I'm telling you, 7th grade has the best books ever. So the grammar that we're learning, I relate it to the literature that we're reading, but we certainly are learning foundations in grammar as well. And I try to bring in examples from the literature that we're reading that give examples of the grammar we're learning. So the writing is inspired by the literature that we're reading. So everything wraps around each other and they're all connected. So I love that we have the ability to connect literature. Why do we need to learn grammar? Because we want to be good communicators, writing and in speaking. We need to become better writers to communicate with people. And by doing that, we want to read great literature and the classics, which is what we do.
And when you're not grading these essays that the students write about the literature that they're reading, or you're not correcting their grammar assignments, how do you like to spend your time?
Well, actually, I teach Pilates at our fitness center here in our community. So I am teaching adults mostly Pilates. I have a dance background. I was a ballet dancer at one time in my life, many, many years ago. Then I was a ballet teacher. So what do ballet teachers when they get older? They become Pilates teachers.
It sounds like a lot of fun. There are many teaching opportunities available for English, so why did you choose FPA specifically?
Well, that's kind of another funny story. I think life has so many interesting connections, but FPA reached out and chose me. There was a need during the middle of the year for an English teacher, and it was particularly using the curriculum that I had taught for 10 years. So a good friend of mine who is the in charge of the middle school teachers suggested that they talk with me, and it all worked out, and I started teaching 4 years ago at the end of October.
All right, so before we wrap up, I want to do a quick fire question round. So,
boy.
Answer the following questions as quickly as possible.
Oh my.
What are 5 words to describe you?
Okay. Hopefully, my students would say motivational. I would hope that people would say that I am loving and that they can see the love of Christ through me. I would hope that people would say I am fun. I like to make English fun, and whatever it is, if you're not having fun, it's difficult to learn. Let's see, that was 3. We need 3 more. How about dependable? Good thing is I show up when I'm supposed to most of the time. Let's see, what else?
Just
inspiring?
one more. Just there you go. Inspiring.
I hope that I would be inspiring. I want to be. I had a teacher in middle school that affected me for the rest of my life. She kind of changed the course of my life. Her name was Mrs. Allen. And it's my great hope that I would like to be the Mrs. Allen for all of our students.
That sounds good. So as an English teacher, what are your 4 favorite punctuation marks?
Well, I would definitely start with an exclamation mark, okay, because I like things that are exciting or unique. So semicolons are not often used. I would have to say that because they need some attention. Commas are a big thing in my classes. Students hear from me a lot. You need a comma there for compound and complex sentences. And I would have to say a question mark, certainly, because it's important to ask questions.
All right. And I know this is going to be a tough one, but what are your 3 favorite books or maybe 3 book recommendations you have?
All right. We're in the middle of The Miracle Worker. All right. So I'm going to have to say that one because every book that we're reading, I read them along with the students again, which means I've read them multiple times, but they are without a doubt the best books. So I'm going to tell you, The Miracle Worker, we just finished The Call of the Wild, fabulous book. And I would tell you the one that I had not read earlier is Where the Red Fern Grows. Another fabulous book.
Okay.
So I think that was 3.
That was 3. And then how about 2 authors who you could read all of their work?
Have to be Charles Dickens, my favorite, hands down. Second author would be, I'm going to say, I have a former student who has just written her first book, and her name is Haley Hudson, and I'm going to give her a plug. The book is Hope is the Thing with Feathers. So I'm going to say Haley because she's got more books coming.
Excellent. All right. And finally, what is one piece of advice you have for your students?
Okay. One piece of advice I would have is keep yourself organized. Being organized and getting your assignments turned in on time is really the key to being a good student. Stay engaged, stay motivated. That really helps. So I think that would be what I would say. Keeping yourself organized.
All right, Mrs. Brown, thank you so much for being here today. Learn more about our wonderful teachers and Freedom Project Academy at fpeusa.org.